Goods and services used in the production of Hangin' Out with Dee were contributed by
Hey guys, I'm Dee Harris. Welcome to another episode of Hanging Out with Dee. And today I'll be speaking with the inspiring Shawna Barker. She's a business owner, she's a mom, and she's just a really cool person to hang out with. And she's owner of Evvoke. So we want to talk to her today about all things beautiful and obviously about her life story. Welcome, Shawna.
Hi, Dee. How are you today?
I am great and really excited to talk to you about your story.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, how did you know that you wanted to go into beautifying windows and this kind of a thing? How did you know?
Well, it started out when I was young, let's say 10. I loved going at nighttime looking and peering into windows so that I could see what the window treatments would look like.
Of your neighbors?
At my neighbors, yes. And then at the age of 13, my dad bought me a sewing machine. There was a little prom that we had that I was going to go to, a graduation prom, and I needed chiffon because I was revealing my shoulders.
Too much of your shoulders and you had to cover it?
Yes, so my grandma helped me with it, and we bought chiffon material to make this little cape, and she wanted to sew it, and I told her, no, let me try it. And she was amazed because she says, you sew straight lines on a chiffon, which is so very slippery.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, as the years went by, I was always sewing, and it was clothes, and I didn't really like clothes. And then one day, as I got older, I visited a friend who was married in Chicago.
Yes.
And we were walking the neighborhood again, and I was looking through the windows, all excited. And there was one neighbor that I said she had the most beautiful window treatments. Can we knock on her door?
Oh my
And I wanted to see what they looked like in the front because I was leaving the next day. And I remember going into her house, and I asked her if we could.
Did she freak out?
No, she said no. She said she wasn't surprised. A few
wonderful.
people have always said she had beautiful draperies.
Yeah.
So I looked at them and I asked her, did she mind if I look underneath them? Because I wanted to see how they were made. And I'll never forget, I took this picture in my mind, this photographic picture, and I never forgot how they were made. And then I realized about when I did get married, like a couple years later, that was the first thing I made. I didn't have a template. No, I didn't have a pattern. What I did was I went to the fabric store and I described what I wanted.
Yeah.
And the lady told me, and she kind of said it was an Austrian balance that I wanted to make. So she got me my material and stuff, and then you know what? Based on that, I went home and I made it. It was the most beautiful window treatment.
Oh my goodness.
And ever since then, I knew that was my calling.
So you knew from a young age that you were good at sewing? But it was not sewing clothes.
Yes, I knew it wasn't sewing clothes because I didn't love it.
Yeah.
But I just had this passion for
windows.
And when I did make my first window treatment, and it came out so beautiful, like it was professionally done.
Yeah.
I knew that was my calling.
So then the first two people who believed in you were your father and your grandmother.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yes, they were. They were.
Oh my goodness. So you were telling me this story about after you went to college. Where did you go to college?
I went to American International College for Business Management.
Yes.
I always wanted to be interior decorator, but back then our parents are like, no, I don't know if you're going to make money into that. You really need to get an education in business. So I did. I received a bachelor's degree in business management. But even though I've obtained jobs as far as a manager, I've always had those fabric swatches on my
your desk.
I would go to so many fabric stores on my lunch hour, and I would just sit there and coordinate all these colors. And So, but the one thing I will have to say is it was my heart's desires to be an interior decorator.
Yes.
Although business management did come into play with what I do today.
Yeah.
I think both of them go hand in hand if you want to
Definitely.
be successful.
Yeah.
So yes, then I took classes in Arizona, Foothills, Arizona. I took interior decorating classes to be certified. As I moved here to Connecticut, like most people, they look for and they see, maybe they're looking to see where the grocery stores are
Yes.
as they're moving in. Well, I could spot a mile away a
fabric store.
I knew where every fabric store was.
That is so
and
funny.
I got a job, and but it wasn't a fabric store. What it was is I did an internship under Jeanette Interiors.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that. Tell me about Jeanette.
Yes, I had children, and they
Yes.
were young. They were in kindergarten, and I went to her, and I asked her, did she need anybody to help her? And she said, no, she didn't need anybody. But she was running this business by herself.
So you knew she needed help.
Yes, and I said to her, I would love to do this for you, and I would just volunteer my time for free.
Yeah.
So while my kids were at school every day for kindergarten, I had two back to back. I internship under her for 2 years, and everything
Wonderful.
she had in her shop, I went and I bought and I put it in my basement. And what it was is the difference is I used to sew, and I used to sew like a home sewer, and I
Yes.
wanted to sew
Professionally, yes.
And so she taught me so many
How to get the finishes right and all
so
of
many
that.
skills, so many techniques in learning how to be a professional sewer. And then once that, then I helped her, we taught classes, so that was a good, helped her instruct in classes. And then I just went out on my own. I decided I needed to go do another job.
Yeah.
And I ventured out from there. Yes.
Wonderful.
But that's where that all
What
started.
a great idea, and that's something that you know, our audience can learn from as well. That sometimes it's good to volunteer your time in an area that you're interested in if the person doesn't have a budget to pay you a
Yes.
salary. Such a smart idea what you did.
Well, another one. Okay. What inspires you?
What inspires you, Shawna Barker?
Well, what inspires me is I love everything to be beautiful.
Beautiful. Yes, you say that a lot.
Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. But what beauty is for me is every woman in her heart wants a beautiful home.
Yes.
And not everyone can afford it, but God has given me a gift to be able to share with many, many women that you can have that beautiful home. And I feel that with what I have and what I can give back, to show people on how they can have that beautiful home.
Yeah.
At any price.
Yeah.
You don't have to go spend $1,000, or you can go spend down to $10 if you want to. But it's just how you take what you have and you use it. And to have that and to show every woman
that she can
that's
do that.
what inspires me to do what I do today. Because I want every woman to be able to have that.
A beautiful home.
A beautiful home.
That is so powerful, because I do missions work as well in
Yes.
Haiti. And when you go there, you see people with homes made out of straw and mud, with a toilet that's a hole in the ground outside their house. And these are people who will still take the time to make whatever they're living in look beautiful. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so we are going to the Say What section of our show soon, but first we're gonna see a funny video about clever animals. See you soon. those are some seriously clever animals, right? So I'm happy to be here with Shawna. She's going to show us a little bit more about repurposing. She's going to give us some real obvious ways of turning the things that we have in our home into something special. So Shawna, what is repurposing?
Repurposing is taking something that you already have and just giving it a whole new look.
Yeah.
You don't have to go out and buy anything new. You can take a product that you have in your house or a valance or a curtain, and then you could just give it refresh it, just give it a whole new look. And it doesn't take that much. What I have here is this here is a custom window valance. It was in could be in your home, in your window. And all we had to do to get a whole new look is, instead of just leaving it like this, and you know, you get tired of it, it becomes outdated. So what we can do to embellish it, to give it a whole new look, which is these pins over here, is you can go out and buy a banding for a fraction of the cost. It's not going to cost you much.
So this is called a banding?
This is a banding, yes.
Okay.
And it might cost you $10. You measure it out, and then you go into a fabric store and you can put a whole new banding. Now what we're going to do on this is we're just going to take it and we're going to pin it to the valance here.
Okay.
I'm going to pin it in the front, but it really should go in the back. And then we're going to end up sewing it. Because everybody, you know, you get tired of the same.
Yes, I can relate to that.
Yes, you get tired of the same window treatment. You get very bored with it.
And then the expensive ones with banding on them are so
They
expensive.
are. But let's say you purchased this years ago, and then all of a sudden, you know what? I'm tired of it, but I want it to have a new, fresh look. I don't want to go out and spend a lot of money on this, but I want a new look that's in date, doesn't look like it's outdated.
But within budget.
Within budget.
That's good.
So all we have to do, by the time we finish pinning this, and then I'll just pin it one more side over here so it will hold, so I can show you this. Now, based on that, how does that look? Doesn't that look nice? Once we pinned it, look at the look that we have now. This is what it looks like before. This is what it looks like after. This was the before look.
Yeah.
You see the difference, how plain, boring it looked?
Huge difference.
Huge difference. Now once we put it on, look how much character it added.
Yeah.
And it just updated. And that was a fraction of the cost.
How much would a mom or a dad pay for something like this?
A banding like this, it might cost you like maybe between $12 to $20.
Yeah, not very
and what
expensive.
happens is you have a whole new look for $12 to $20. Another source you can, and then let's say before we go there, another thing is, let's say if you had shutters. Look how that would look.
Definitely.
With shutters.
Yeah.
It's just another layer.
Yeah.
We also have cellular shades,
Yeah.
which are room insulators. That's also another layer.
Definitely.
There's different layers of window treatments. My most favorite to do is a lot of people can't afford draperies right now, especially
That's
when you're
right.
moving into a new home.
Yeah.
You don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
Or let's say you're in transition of how you want a room to look. I'm like, go buy some reasonable draperies. And what you can do to get a pop look, they call it color blocking.
Okay.
You take a drapery.
Yeah.
We're going to take two.
Two draperies.
Yes. Let's say your windows are really long,
Yeah.
and normally they come to about 84, and let's say your window's 101.
Yeah.
Okay?
101 inches.
Yeah, 101 inches.
Yeah.
So you're going to take two draperies. You're going to take one panel that's 84, like this, right?
84, one that's 84
This is
inches.
184. What we're going to do is then you're going to buy another panel of another color, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to take it, and then we're going to cut it. We're going to take off the bottom of this.
You're gonna cut it.
And we're gonna cut it because we want it.
Can't wait to see what you're gonna do.
We want it to look longer.
Okay.
We want to give it length, but also this by itself is boring. It doesn't really have any pop to it.
Yeah.
So now what I did was I already pre-cut it a little.
Okay.
We'll take my scissors.
Yeah.
Oops. You're gonna measure it out to what you need, and you're gonna draw a line, chalk it, and then you're gonna cut it.
Okay.
And what you could do with this, once we cut it, we're going to take the bottom half of this, because the top half has grommets to it. And we don't want because we're going to use the other half for grommets.
Oh, we don't want the grommet section.
No, because we have it on this side.
Okay.
And what I did already is I already cut this side. This side was already cut it.
This is so cool.
So what we did now is we take the two of these once we cut it, and we pin them together like this. Just take the two edges, pull them together, pin them. So instead of having one drapery, you can give yourself a whole new look. You can take this on pre-existing draperies that you have, you're tired of, and you can give yourself a whole new look of a whole new drapery redesign.
Is beautiful.
Now what we did here, if you look,
wow.
it would look something like this.
Yeah.
But I just want to show you because I already took one apart. And this is the finished product of it. And we just reversed it. This is the grommet part of the gray bottom we cut.
Yeah.
And now this is the...
So you have a beautiful two-tone color block.
Yes, isn't
window
that?
panel.
And now for a fraction of the cost, you've colored blocked your drapery.
You color blocked your room.
You color, it's called color blocking.
Yeah.
We take it and we sew it together. We do a finish at the back of it, but you color block, and now you solve the problem of that long window with
a short drape.
Yes, and like I said, all you have to do, you don't have to go out and have it custom made. All you did was take two panels at a reasonable cost, put them together, and now you've color blocked, and now you have something that's in style with today. And that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
We bring
and like I
beauty
said,
into homes.
everybody can have a beautiful home at a fraction of the cost.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shawna.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Shawna. It's been a pleasure.
Yes,
having
it has. I thank you for inviting me.
Yes, it's been wonderful. And we learned a lot about what passion means.
Yes,
How
absolutely.
to know what you're born to do.
Absolutely.
Follow your instinct. Follow that thing that you want to do no matter what. And then these wonderful tips about making our home beautiful. Wonderful. Thanks for joining us, guys. You know where we are on Facebook, Hanging Out with Dee. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you.